Okay. Okay. Now. We have this. Okay, today is October 3rd, 2017. Webinar Series 2, Planets and Signs. We're beginning with the moon today. Now, okay, 7 o'clock. We got, okay. Hi, Sandra. Just wait a minute or so for everyone to get, whoever's coming, come, and I get this going. Record, okay. And testing. All right. Screen. It's recording. Audio is on. Okay. Okay, so we're ready to start. I had sent out a link from Hightail to get the video of the last webinar, the copy. If you didn't get it, then it's probably, you should check your junk mail. It may have gone into there instead of into your regular email. And let me know if you haven't got it. Now I can resend it. Okay, but check your junk mail. It might have gone there. Okay. This part, when we're starting, this is the real parts of astrology. We're really getting to the real understanding of it. It's simple. It's just one step at a time. But as we go through each step, we're really learning more and more about each planet. It's like each planet's like a person or a teacher or someone that we know. And each time we learn it by signs or by category or by houses or by aspects, we begin to understand that person a little bit better. We begin to see their influence a bit better and see our own relationship a bit better. So continually in astrology, at 1 year, at 10 years, at 20 years, at 50 years, you're still growing your relationship to the planets and understanding them better and better. And it refines. It goes, at first we're just dealing with words and categories, and sooner or later you still hold the same words and categories, but you begin to feel the energy of it, and you begin to know the planet like a good friend. Yep, even Saturn. Okay, so, hi Gino. So, okay, yeah, so we're starting with the moon today, and the moon is well, most people live in their moon more than their sun sign. It's like the moon is such a strong influence. The moon represents, first, traditionally our mother, the stomach, and the breasts. Those are the traditional archetypes of the moon. But really, well, even following that, with the moon, you see the moon being mother and the breast and the stomach. We get our nurturing for our mother. We're fed from our mother. And we develop our sense of closeness or sympathy to our mother and our sense of security to our mother, from our mother. Not everybody gets security. Some people get insecurity from their mother, but generally the need to survive, the need to be secure. And so when we're young, it's very simply that. But as we get older, it becomes our sense of security, our sense of feeling nurtured, feeling I belong somewhere, feeling okay. It becomes your feelings. And but the feelings are based on whether you feel secure or not, whether you've had a good night's sleep, whether you've had a good meal, whether you've eaten good things, whether you've, so the nutritional side of the moon and how we get, what we eat, how we live, it begins to represent our basic needs, the basic things we need to feel secure and live or be healthy. Good food, good night's sleep, exercise. But it represents our habits. It also represents our habits. And our habits are, the habits get formed by, before we're born, we're inside our mother. We're not really our separate person, we're inside her. So when we're born, we take our first breath. And we switch from the umbilical cord to breathing for ourselves. And as soon as we switch to that breathing for ourselves, that's the beginning of our independent life. So sometimes some people are born, they're blue babies, and they can't breathe, and they have to switch the blood in them very quickly and have to have an operation, and they have to do this within the first 2 or 3 minutes to fix this, or you may not live. So usually it's within, you got 3 or 4 minutes of the time you come out to take that first breath. So the time of birth is that we take at that moment of first breath, we're pure potentials. Our blueprint, our DNA for the matrix of our life is set. The pattern is set. What we do with it isn't. What we run into, how much we grow with, how much we deal with, there's choices and there's other factors involved in this. But firstly, the moon is to you're linked to your mother, where you came from, and it's your sympathy links, your need for nurturing, your feeling secure, and your basic habits get set by your mom's regular schedule or not regular schedule of feeding you, sleeping you, putting you to sleep, and bringing up. So as we're brought up, if you got kids, getting a good night's sleep and having regular meals is 80% of the secret. If a kid's had a good night's sleep, they're not going to be so cranky. If they're eating properly, they're going to be healthy. So those two things are necessary, even as we're adults, for a student, for someone to study, even in growing up. If you haven't had a good sleep and you don't eat properly, it's going to be very difficult for you to study or absorb learning. So habits are a very important thing. Our daily habits, our daily routines, all the habits that our basic instincts, our basic habits that we have, these are, this is the moon. So when you see the moon in a chart and you see the sign, you start seeing the attitudes that affect your habits. So you can see by the habits you have, so somebody might eat fast, someone might eat slow, someone might like eating, someone might not like eating, someone might be afraid to go to sleep, someone might enjoy going to sleep. It all depends on the security you have around you when you're born. So sometimes a person's born in a war zone and there's absolutely no security, and the mother's in shock and afraid, and sometimes the child would therefore be too. And when that happens, still the attitude of the moon sign will show you the attitude of what you're going to need as security. So then you'll go up trying to find it since you didn't have it, and having to learn your habits as you go along. So it originally comes from a relationship to our mom, but as we grow and come into life, it becomes our daily habits, our regular routines, our habits. How many habits do you have? How many good habits do you have? How many bad habits do you have? This is all the moon. So, wow, if you tried to make a list of your good habits and your bad habits and try to see how much do you have more good habits than bad habits, that would be a good therapy exercise on trying to get into the moon or into your sense of security. So as we get older, well, we have our habits at home based on our parents, based on what lifestyle we come into, how we come in. But as we go up, we have school. To go to school, we have to get up, have a breakfast, have a habit to get up at a certain time, get to school on time, go to our classes, get home from the classes. You put up with the teachers, you have habits at school, then you may or may not have homework, you come home and you have to do it, then you have to eat, then you have to go to sleep. There's many, many ways we develop habits. And we have priorities. Some habits are easier to deal with than others. Some we like, some we don't like. But if you have no habits, boy, it's hard to do anything. It's hard to be around anyone or to feel secure about anything. So everybody has habits. As we're older, we have an awful lot of bad habits, and when we start waking up, we have to start, oh, I got to fix that. If I don't eat right, I'm not going to live that long. If I eat bad things, I'm not going to live that long. Or if I eat if I drink or I smoke or I take in bad things, it's going to make me less healthy, less secure. And we can choose to maintain a good habit or a bad habit. So usually we get our habits, they get set up, and they start changing slowly. We add new ones, and usually the basic ones get set in, and we add new ones to it. And then when we get older, we get bad habits. Boy, it takes a bit of effort to try and change a bad habit, to get rid of a bad habit. Well, sometimes if someone's being ignored or you feel alone, sometimes you feel more secure if you get attention, even if it's bad attention. So some people will feel they need to be bad to get the attention to feel secure. The moon goes on forever. But this idea of the habits is important. Your basic needs, the basic things you need, the food, the sleeping, the fresh air, some clothes, deal with daily changes. Those are our basic needs. How secure do we feel with them? Sometimes we want more than what's basic. Sometimes we don't even want that. Well, we have a sense of what we need. It's set not by our egos, it's set by the circumstances we're born in. So at the moment we're born, our chart is the transits and the outer circumstances going on for your mother and father at the time you're born. So the situations and the attitudes between mom and dad at the time you're born is your horoscope, is your potential. It sets those base, especially the moon, it sets your basic needs and your sense of security. Now, so it starts with the habits and the feelings. You could feel, you feel like eating, if you don't feel like eating, you want to be close to mom, you want to be, so if your mom liked you and liked having you, she likes to feed you, she likes to feel close, so you feel, mom loved me, you feel close, you feel secure. But if your mom was sick or had a difficult labor and she doesn't have that extra energy, she's not giving you the, you're going to have a chart where you don't have that amount, that same amount of feeling, and there'll be a feeling of missing it. So what starts from the feelings and the basic needs and our basic habits, or any habits for that matter, but they think basic habit, your lifestyle, how do you live, what are your habits, what time you get up at, what time you go at. People can have totally different habits and still live a meaningful, secure life. It only becomes a problem when you marry someone, you expect them to take your habits and not you have to take their habits, or not to make new habits. So the